welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a lockdown Tuesday here in Melbourne. Of course, let's turn our attention to one of our favourite sponsored teams. That is the City West Falcons, and of course, continue our country series. And of course, we've got three very special guests on the show from the Falcons to tell us a bit about it. Thanks all three for joining.
Thank you.
Well, I'll get each of you to introduce yourselves and obviously what position we would normally be seeing all three on the court if we had a season.
I'm Daisy. I would just play goal shooter.
I'm Jasmine, and if I were to play, I would be in probably wing defence or centre.
I'm Olivia, and if I would be playing, I would be playing centre.
Now, obviously, all three all come from the country. I guess what I meant by that, obviously, away from Melbourne. I guess you might as well tell us which local clubs you all play for.
I play for Torquay Tigers in Torquay.
So I play in the Bendigo League for Eagle Hawk.
And I play in the Bendigo League for Gisborne.
Now, for all three, I guess how special is it to play in the country? And I guess for everyone in Melbourne, I have no idea how, I guess, competitive it is out there in the country. How special is it to have that football and netball connection when it comes to the community out there in your areas?
I really like it because it's almost like, because the town you play in like little clubs or little towns or whatever, it's kind of like, that's kind of like a little family of its own, like, because you've got the football and netball league and you've got all your friends there, so it's like that's its own little family, and then you go off and you do your other things, but like you still always have that.
Yeah, very family orientated.
I like how supportive all the club is, you know, everyone gets around each other and does everything, and even still, like, there's a lot of teams within, like, the Bendigo League, I know, and so when you catch up and you're going away to Bendigo and out the countryside, you get to see all your mates, and you don't usually go out there as much, but, you know, you see everyone and you catch up, and it was good fun, but not doing much at the moment.
The support, like, right through all of their grades, so like right from all the younger kids right up to like A grade and the senior footy and all that, everyone is sort of like supportive around each other, and you always see like all the younger kids at the older grades games, and also you see all of the like A graders down at the like mini players, watching them and giving them support and cheering them on and that sort of thing, and that makes it really welcoming and fairly good.
Now, I know that obviously, of course, Daisy plays in the Geelong competition, and obviously both Olivia and Jazz play in the Bendigo competition. I guess, have either of you played against each other? Are they interleague or just normal club competition? I've got a feeling I know this answer from Liv and Jazz because they play in the same comp.
Yes, me and Liv have played like directly against each other a few times.
Ah.
Yeah. Always gets very, very competitive.
Yeah.
Does the Bendigo competition play against Geelong in interleague at all?
I don't think in interleague. I think they would in state maybe, but might cross paths in that sort of way.
Tell us. Now, I know that obviously all the competitions have been cancelled this year, but how was the season looking like for all your local teams?
I think my team personally, I think that we were looking fairly strong, and I'm fairly sure like right across the board, like all teams had built themselves up and were like, everyone was looking fairly strong, and like obviously physically, but as a team as well.
And same for us, we won the premiership last year, so coming into this year we hadn't really lost many players. We lost there was just like maybe two that were like kind of in and out last year, so not 4 players, but our solid team were all going to be in it again this year. So we had a solid team going in, and we'd added a few extras as well. So we were all pretty excited to get going this year as well, but obviously things got in the way.
Yeah, and I guess for us, we had a very young team. A lot of people had moved up and we were really fresh, but everyone was getting around each other. A few things changed up a little bit, but I reckon we would have done pretty well. And like everyone was very, very excited to start, and it just never got to that stage, which is disappointing. But there's always next year.
Now, for all three, what have you all been doing in isolation?
Well, our classes. Yeah, our classes with Falcons, obviously.
I'm the same. I doing the Zooms, but also had patellar tendonitis in my knee, so trying to get that back right. So it's been all right in that sense that we're not playing because it wouldn't have gotten any better. But I've had about like nearly probably like 2 months of I didn't do like all the Zoom sessions. I was just doing my own thing, obviously. So I've just like the last week I've just come back in, so it's been good to be able to do a bit more now.
Yeah, I've just been doing the Zoom sessions as well with Falcons, and they've been unreal. I've really been enjoying them. And then on the side, just running, but I can't really motivate myself to do much more.
I live on a farm as well, so I've been trying to sort of motivate myself to like, say if I'm going to check the cows, I won't ride the motorbike, I'll like go for a run, and I'll just, try to alternate using other things to sort of do physical activity here and there. So it's good in that aspect, I guess.
Now, we'll go back to your local team for a moment. Tell us a couple of players in your local team we should watch out for in the future. And you can't include yourselves.
Well, I play in A grade. A lot of the girls are all a lot older and already been through, like I'm the youngest, so all the girls are like already been through that kind of stuff. But Jessica Stanfield plays in champ at Geelong Cougars, so definitely her. But everyone else in there is still solid as well, but they've just already kind of gone through the ranks and back out at the other end.
Well, in my team, obviously in A grade at Eagle Hawk, Ash and Abby Ryan, they play for, I think, Blaze. I'm not sure what grade, but yeah, they're definitely people to look out for.
Yeah, well, I'm still a little baby. I'm still in juniors, but I think at the moment I have a few players all over the joint that are really special. I think in A grade there's Maddie Stewart, who obviously plays VNL, and she's unreal. A lot of people actually do know her. I don't know if you have to look out for her, but there's also Charlotte Cook, who plays for VNL Hawks. So, yeah, there's a few Melbourne players in our little countryside.
Now, for all three, I know I'm going to ask the most serious question right from the start. Of course, how did all you get involved in netball, and why did you choose it?
I always play. I actually kind of came in, well, not late, but I was like 12 when I started playing netball. So a lot of girls go through like net set go and kind of up, but I kind of just went like straight into like under 13s at like my local thing, and then from there I played under 15s, and I just loved it. And then from the end of like my top age under 15s after that, they were like, "Do you want to come play A grade next year?" And I was like, "All right." So I kind of just like was just loved playing, and I just kept playing, and it just kind of happened.
Yeah, right. I guess I was probably, like Daisy, a little bit of a late bloomer. I started when I was like 11, turning 12 that year, and sort of just got into it. I wasn't really interested in netball as such. I liked running. I sort of liked just running, doing anything that was sort of physical activity. And then all of my friends were sort of doing it. So I thought, why not? I'll go and do it as well. Just something else I can do. And then, I found that I really, really liked it and sort of moved up in the ranks quite quickly, playing in one of sort of like the lower leagues. And then, I sort of got not picked into the Bendigo League, but I got asked, do I want to come and play? And so I was like, oh, why not?
Yeah, well, I definitely didn't start as netball. I used to play soccer for a while, but I quickly changed over to netball when I realised my older sister was getting good and found some competition. Knew I had to try and beat her and, get into all the clubs and play a better position and do everything a bit better just so I can show her up a bit.
Now, I had to ask all three, I guess, what convinced all three to come to Melbourne and play for the Falcons?
Probably Zoe Davies. She got me down to Falcons. She was at Eagle Hawk with me for a couple years, and she's like, "Oh, just come and give it a go." And I tried out, and yeah, I found that I really, really liked the club, and yeah, I've just been there since.
I'm the same. Mine would have been Sonia Harris. I played with her in A grade at Torquay a year, and then at the end of that year, she was like, "Come trial," because she was a bit involved in and out of Falcons. So she was like, "Come trial. I'm going to coach her next year." So I was like, "Oh, may as well." And then and she couldn't end up going, so I just forced myself to go, and I really didn't want to go. In the end, I was just like, "Oh, I don't want to." I was too scared because I'd never played really anything. So I went, and then I got chosen, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I've always really wanted to play Melbourne, like a high level of netball. And one day I was just playing a round robin kind of thing at a tournament, and Marg scouted me and she just said, "Oh, do you want to come to the last tryout?" So this was meant to be my first year at Falcons. Luckily enough, I got in, but I didn't get to play. So we'll see how it turns out for the rest of my time if it continues. But yeah, Marg really convinced me that, I guess you're good enough to come and play for Melbourne side.
Now, I have to ask all three, what will be a netball highlight throughout your netball journeys? Are they at Falcons or at your local club?
Mine would definitely be last year I won the premiership, obviously at Falcons, and I won the premiership at Torquay as well. So it was a bit of both of those are probably my best ones.
I don't really have any sort of highlights. The probably thing that I love most about the netball that I've played is when I was first starting out, I was that honest that I stepped and put the ball down and gave it to the opposite team. Yeah, that's probably my highlight from my netball career so far.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I like how at Falcons people are quite brutally honest. Like you play off or you're not putting in, they'll let you know, and you got stuff to work on, and they'll let you know, and you'll be working on it because it is a high level of netball, and you need to be at that standard to play there. So when you start to slip a little bit, or if you need a bit of work in these areas, they'll be on your back and they'll be yelling encouragement most of the time to get you there, which I reckon is unreal, and that's probably a highlight of playing netball for me.
Now, Daisy, you mentioned about the premiership last year, which technically is still the reigning premiership team at Torquay and Falcons because there's no netball this year. Which one's more special and more important to you? Is it the Falcons one last year or the Torquay one last year?
I loved playing the VNL one because obviously it was my first year playing Falcons, and I played majority of I had a lot of court time last year, and all us girls were so close and we got along so well. So I really loved it, but I think I'd have to say the Torquay one. I've played there my whole life, and I've just although I'm such good friends with all the girls at Falcons, just everyone around the whole club, I just, it's just a bit, it's just a bit more special in some way because it's just you just always want to win a premiership at your home club. It's just, but again, playing it in a premiership and winning at VNL level is really good too.
Now, Jazz and Liv, you mentioned that you both play against each other. I have to ask, which team has normally come up on top?
Liv. Oh, Liv has.
Winners
Liv's
agreement,
team.
that's all I can say.
Yeah, I think Liv's team was probably more not experienced, but they were much more gelled. And the team that I was in, we were very new, very young, all just basically mashed in together. And like we obviously were very competitive, but yeah, Liv's team was just probably a bit more experienced in that way. And yeah, they definitely had that edge and won.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. Does your team, like, it was always a hard fight and we always knew what we were coming up against. But I think in the end it just come down to how well we worked together when it came down to all the pressure of the whole game, because there's always a lot of pressure when you're versing someone that you've bet before, and you got to keep up that you got to keep going, you got to keep winning, because you can't win one, lose one, then you reckon you're even. It doesn't work that way in netball.
Now, I'm not going to ask Daisy this question because obviously her teams are the defending champions. I'm not going to ask this question to Daisy, but I'm going to ask this question to Liv and Jazz. I have to ask, which team is your team hoping to beat is like a real rivalry, other than obviously against each other?
Sandhurst.
Yeah.
Probably Sandhurst. They're probably one of the highest teams in the league, and yeah, it's everyone's mission just to beat Sandhurst. That's all you hear, like, oh, Sandhurst.
Yeah, that's all Bendigo League. That's all you want to do, because Sandhurst win everything, all the football, all the netball, and you beat them and you're feeling on top of the world. And yeah, it's what everyone strives for in the VNL League.
Even though we are the reigning premiers, there's still always like that one team, like they say, that like you just want to beat, because like it's just always like a club rivalry almost, like, and for us it'd be like Geelong Amateurs, like every year they're always in the top. Like they've played in the last, I think, like 4 or 5 grand finals, and I think they've won one of them maybe. But like they're always just at the top, and you always just know as soon as you're coming up to them that you just have to beat them, because they're that one team that are just always so good, and you just want to beat them every time.
I guess, what does the sport of netball mean to all of you, and especially playing for the Falcons?
To me, it's kind of like the friendships and like relationships and that you build like through the netball club, because like last year was my first year, but I'm so close with so many of the girls and like the coaches and everyone. Like you can just talk to anyone, have a conversation with anyone, and not feel like awkward or like uncomfortable. So I think that is like that's really like good, like to just make those friendships and stuff, and also being around all different kinds of like people, and you learn so many different things about everyone. So you kind of know when you like go out, you just used to being different friends with all different kinds of people. So you just like, it just helps you. And yeah, learning so many like new things through like the coaching staff there, because they're so good. So yeah.
Yeah, like the honesty is probably like a real major thing at Falcons. Like they are completely honest with you, and sometimes like depending on how you take it, you may not take it the right way, but at the end of the day, they're only there to help you, and like they want you to get better, and they want you to succeed and proceed to like your optimum potential. And yeah, I think as well as the social side, it's very family orientated, and they obviously make you feel very welcome and don't try to exclude you in any way possible. Like they want you to feel as comfortable as you possibly can.
Yeah, netball is very, very important to me. It takes up a lot of my time, and I think at Falcons, I'm a very competitive person. I love winning, and it's always the best feeling. And obviously at Falcons, you kind of see that they win quite a bit, and they are competitive, and it's kind of good to have people who are kind of like you when they are that competitive. And I guess the whole league is like that, but Falcons has an additional part to it where you get to live up to something. You know, they've always got really high expectations of you, like extremely high, and it's always really important to try and get there, and it really pushes you and you push yourself and you learn so many things just in life in general and how to keep going and push through things, and you know how working hard really does pay off, and Falcons probably proves that the best for me.
You all mentioned what position you all played on the court or going to play on the court. If you had a preferred position where you loved to convince Marg and Richo to put you, where would that be?
I 100% am going to say wing attack and goalkeeper. I remember like in a practice, like, you know, before we went into lockdown the first time, and we played just like some matches with rolling, like just fun as the whole club. We played rolling subs and everything, just mixed teams. And I remember Jane went into goalkeeper, and like obviously she plays a little bit of that too. So I was like, and Sonia Harris was my coach for this team that I was playing in at training. And I asked her, I was like, can I go into goalkeeper too? And she asked Marg, and Marg was like, nah. And I was like, I just wanted to play there so bad. But if I had to choose anywhere that I could play, it'd be wing attack.
Yeah, I'd probably be the same. I like if I really, the one position I'd probably really want to play is wing attack, because like I love centre because you can play both attacking and defending. But yeah, if I could play one position, it'd probably be wing attack.
I don't know. I'm a bit torn by this. I love playing centre, and that's my preferred position. But if I had to choose another one, I would choose probably goal attack, because it always seems really fun and fancy. And when you get a goal in, everyone's like praising you, and it's never like the mids that get it down there. And, you know, it's always the shooter who gets it in from all the way out. So I'd love to be a shooter and get them in, though, of course.
Now, what would be your advice to our listeners out there that think about playing netball in the country?
I would say just keep going. Like I went from I didn't play any interleague. I didn't play any representative teams. I was just playing at Torquay, and Sonny just said, go trial here. So I did. So I reckon like when you get those opportunities, just take them. Like if I hadn't have gone to those trials that I didn't really want to go to that day, I wouldn't have been playing and kept going through, and then obviously getting selected in other teams. So I think that just like keep going. Like if you like netball, just keep playing. Even if you don't think you're getting anywhere, just like keep like playing, and eventually like if you're good enough, things are going to come your way, and just take those opportunities.
Yeah, and like just don't take no as a never, take no as a not yet. And like what Daisy said, just keep going. Like at the end of the day, you can only push yourself so hard, and you're the only person that can get yourself there. So if you really want it, then work for it, and you'll achieve exactly what you want, and you'll get there.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. I think, you know, every athlete has those people who tell them that they can't do it and they're not skilled enough. And I think, you know, the more you work and the harder you work at it and the more effort you put in, if you really want to get somewhere, you will get there. It's just how persistent you are with it. And, you know, coming to play in Melbourne, if you're out from the country, isn't really good idea. It opens so many opportunities, and as fun as it is playing local clubs, you can play there forever. But if you really want to get somewhere, I'd come to Melbourne.
Now, let's finish up with a couple of lighthearted questions about either the Falcons or your local team. Firstly, who's the comedian in your local team first?
I would have to say it's Tiana Newman. Oh, she's from A grade. She's an unreal netball player, and she's almost 30 and she acts like a child. She's always running around and slapping you on the bum, saying good job and hyping you up, and just always giggling and having fun. She's so fun. She's a great person to be around.
Mine would be similar to Liv. Jess Stanfield again. She is like mid-30s, and she's just like, you wouldn't know it. Like she's the first to beat ever. Like she's ready to party whenever there is. She's always like making jokes that you wouldn't usually hear out of a mid-30-year-old's mouth. And she has 2 kids, and yeah, she's just like always making these jokes and stuff at training and just having fun and making like fun out of nothing. So yeah, I would say her.
Yeah, probably from my club, I would say in A grade, Ali Lawton. She's not in her 30s, but she's quite young still, but she's an absolute crack up. Like she'll always make a joke out of things. She'll always make you smile if you're down, always like pick you up, and just she's like Daisy said, always ready to party whenever someone says like hello. Like she's just always on her toes and just always ready to pep you up and everything like that.
I'd also actually have to say Sonia Harris at Torquay. She's always got something to say.
Yes, that's true. Well, I guess she might be included in the next question. Same question, but for the Falcons.
I'd say Sonia Harris as well, and Caitlin Hill.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Valid.
she's just so like out of it. She just doesn't know what's going on half the time. That she just like just funny because of the way she responds to things, and it's just completely wrong.
Oh, Caitlin's gonna love this.
Yeah, I have to agree with Daisy completely. Those two are so funny, and I haven't been around long enough to really hear all the stuff that they say, but I know when we go on little things, they just say some things that you just go, how do you think of that? And it just cracks you up laughing in the middle of some drill you're doing or whatever you're doing, and they can always just make you smile and make training a bit more lighthearted.
Yeah, I would agree, like 100%. And I must admit that this was shown very much so on our preseason camp when we were all sitting around the table and just playing a card game or something. Like Sonia or Caitlin would come out with something, and I must admit, I think I got like the giggles at some stage because I just could not stop laughing at some of the things. And even sometimes it's not even funny what they say, it's just how they say it, and it's just I just can't stop laughing sometimes.
I'd also actually have to say Ellie Keating. She's so quiet. Like she's not quiet, but like she acts so quiet, and then she'll just say all these little comments like very sly, but like they're just so funny because she just like you never really, like she's not a really loud person at training or anything, but when she says like little things, they're actually quality funny.
Now, who's the best singer and dancer at your respective clubs? Local clubs, that is.
I don't know who the best singer is. I don't really think there's too many good singers down at Torquay. But best dancer, I'm going to say Chris Truan. Anyone that hears this will know that that's a joke. But she likes to get the moves on even though she can't really do it because she's just so... she just can't. She has no flow in her body. And she's nearly 40, so we'll give her that.
I don't even know. I would probably say like the most entertaining dancer and singer from what I've seen in videos and that sort of thing would probably be Ali Lawton again. But I would probably dob in like Riley Gallagher. She's one of my friends from in one of my team. She loves to sing, but praise the poor darling. I sometimes wish I had earphones, but it's sometimes the best thing ever just to watch. It's just classic. I love it.
Oh, I'd have to say the best singer would be Maddie Stewart, and if she heard me say that, she would laugh. She would laugh so hard because it's quite ear piercing, but it is so funny to listen to and it entertains me no end. And the best dancer, again, I reckon would be Tiana. Tinny's so funny when she dances, and she starts copying everyone else, and it's just good fun with them all around, and all their hyped up energies and just mucking around and singing and dancing and carrying on, but they have to be the best at it.
Have either of you found a hidden talent that you didn't think you had?
Yeah, I can do like handstands and like handstands on my neck really well. Like I can do those cool like little yoga moves where you like bend and twist sort of thing.
I don't really have any hidden talents. Just what you see, nothing else.
I gotta think. I think my hidden talent would be, I've suddenly discovered that I'm really, really flexible. I don't know how I didn't realize it before, but over quarantine, I've just been stretching a bit and I've been bending over backwards and doing all that type of stuff. It's just bizarre, I guess.
Actually, I do have one. I actually discovered I'm actually quite a creative person. I don't usually do I don't do art at school or anything, but like I've done a few different things like through it, and I'm capable of doing it better than I thought I would. So that would probably be it.
Who's the best singer and dancer at Falcons?
I could probably say the best TikTok dancer would be like either Ali or Hannah. But yeah, probably like with Daisy, the best singer would probably be Lucia.
I'd also, even though it's not a standout, but Emma Walters, I feel like she's secretly good at singing and dancing, but obviously she doesn't sing or dance, but I think if she tried, she actually could be. She's just good at everything anyway, so.
I don't know who's the best. I don't think I've been around long enough to kind of see or hear anyone sing and dance too much, but have seen Crofty bust a few moves, and it's quite entertaining. Not very often, but when she does, they're quite interesting, that's to say the least.
Yes, I agree with all of them there. Yes, I've been around long enough to know that. And one last one, how special to have Smash FM as a team sponsor?
Very.
Yeah, very special, and it's good to hear about everyone else as well. Not just obviously doing these interviews, but hearing you learn about not even just the other players at Falcons, but the other people that you sponsor as well.
Yeah, it's been great. It's so much fun, and even you joining all the Zoom classes, it's great to hear. And as the coaches yell out improvements for not only us girls but for you too, it's it's good. It's really good fun, and it's good everyone's getting involved. And yeah.
All three, thank you so much for giving up your time to join us. It's awesome having all three on the show. Obviously, we'll hopefully get to catch up again, hopefully in person this time, once we all get out of lockdown here in Melbourne in particular. But obviously, hopefully restrictions ease more in the country for yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
No worries. And that's Liv, Daisy and Jazz there, of course, from the City West Falcons, of course, as part of our country series. Of course, there'll be more to come in the next couple of weeks right after this.